Hare Krishna. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. All right. All right.
One moment at a time this week.
One moment. Yes. Krishna says, Shanai, Shanai, Uparamet. In step by step.
I like that.
So
thank you.
can't really do it more than step by step. one moment at a time.
It's true.
And so now we're shifting, as you might have seen in the email, we're moving into in the acronym of the division of the conversational flow we had. First was H. I think she got jumped up. What was H stand for? Carlos G.
I'm not sure. Maybe Edward knows.
Edward knows. He already mimed it out. Edward, tell what is it? H.
Hearing.
Hearing. Yeah. So Krishna, that first verse, he talks about the importance of hearing, and he also talks about. He really gives a specific focus on bhakti over other paths, as kind of following on from the last verse of the 6th chapter. And then he explains how hearing is so important. And of course, you have the 3rd verse was how it's rare. And then what was the E? Does anybody remember what the E stands for?
The energies?
Energies are everywhere. I think I can't remember which one it was, either energies or everywhere, which is kind of overlapping because that's how you recognize Krishna everywhere is through his energies. So his vibhutis, his energies. First, yeah, you have the gross elements, the subtle, the 5 gross, the 3 subtle elements, and the jiva, which is his para prakriti, his superior energy. And then he starts seeing how we can see him throughout his, the taste and water, all these different excellences. And so now we're moving to the A in the acronym. The A means accept and reject. And there's 2 main verses, the 4 types of people who accept God and the 4 types of people who don't accept God. And that's verses, I think, 15 and 16. But this is leading up to that because this is a verse of, okay, if he's everywhere, he's everything. All these energies are expressions of his divine opulences. Then why doesn't everyone accept him? He's everywhere. And so this is what's going to be indicated. This is what's starting right now in verse 13. Let me grab my book. Like I mentioned before, I like how it's there's a 3, because sometimes when you're chanting, you're like, what number verse is this? And it's like kind of a clue there that verse 13 starts with the word 3. Tribhir Ganamer Bhaver. Okay, so let's see. Tribhir Ganamer Bhaver. Abhi Sarvam Idham Jagat Mohitam Nabhi Janati Mam Ebhya Param Avyayam. So one of the kind of main verbs there is the mohitam. We are bewildered. Moha. This is they say kama, lobha, lust, greed, krodha, anger, moha. These are 6 that are described 6 enemies of the soul. But this is here all together. We have those 6 enemies because of this mohitam of the 3 modes of material nature. So I thought of bringing up again, let's look at that, the modes of material nature, chart 3, modes of material, 3 gunas. I'm gonna pull it up, share screen. Okay, so there we go. Okay, let's just take a walk through this. So time of the day, Sattva, Sattvam, early morning, even before the sun rises, the world is calm and clear. The minds are calm and clear. There's not much crime or dark activities happening. Let's go down. We'll just work on Sattva and then we'll go across. Place of residence, a peaceful country home. Like you look out the window and you see a serene lake, maybe a swan in the lake. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness. So this is, if someone is well situated in the mode of goodness, then they have an attraction to these kinds of foods. And what are those foods? Let's see. It's those foods that are Ayu, like Ayurveda, increase the duration of life. Sattva, purify one's existence, give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. And there's certain qualities there. They're juicy. Rasya, snigda, like fatty is like the kind of milk fat. Oh, I think I got to move this. Yeah. There we go. Mild. Oh, wait, let me go. I don't know if I should be doing it. Mild, wholesome, sthira, and hridya. You know this word hrid, hridaya, heart. And maybe this does go over there. Let's keep it there. I'm going to have to look at it. Sattva. What does Sattva develop? It develops jnanam, develops knowledge. But we're also, when we're in Sattva, we're entangled by a sense of happiness. Well, I'm happy. I know things, Maybe I don't need to leave this world. I can just, have my organic garden, do some yoga, I got everything figured out. It's all just actually true Sattva. Prabhupada said, true sense of knowledge is you see the problems of this world. So should be a type of cutting where you become a little bit disinterested. You become disinterested. So manifested. It shows up and it's experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So there's clarity in the mind. There's clarity. What does knowledge means? It means to see things how they see their actual reality. So it's not clouded. Destination after death. In Sattva, you go to the higher planets of the great sages. What's the phalam, fruit? You become purified. Sattva, born of, means it's illuminating, free from sinful reactions. It leads gradually one to go upward to the higher planets. Happiness in Sattva is in the beginning like poison, but the end is like nectar, and it awakens one to self-realization. Faith in Sattva is to worship the demigods. Here you say Shuddha Sattva, beyond the actual pure goodness is to worship God. This is the 3 modes of material nature, not necessarily transcendental or spiritual. Here's an example. If you want to fly to Chicago, say the analogy of flying to Chicago is going back to the spiritual world. In Tamas, Tamaguna. In Tamas, it's like sitting on your couch and whining about how you want to go to Chicago. In Rajas, it is like you jump, get on a roof, and you jump as hard as you can, and you try to catch a plane. And Sattva is you go to the airport. You're best situated to practice spiritual life by situating yourself in Sattva. But of course, beyond that is Sudasattva, meeting the ticket guy, the ticket lady, the ticket guy. That's like meeting the spiritual master. You're not going to get to Chicago just by going to the airport. There has to be some another next step. So yajna, when you perform sacrifice, you don't have it's not because you're motivated by those desires of material happiness or liberation. Do it according to scripture as a duty. Okay. This is just austerities. When you do austerities, only for the sake of the supreme, Sattva. Dana, charity. Dana K. It's out of duty, without expectation of reward. You don't want your name on the wall. Proper situation, proper person. Doing duty only because it should be done. Okay, jnana. Oh, here's a cool one. Knowledge. Knowledge means that by which things are known, or also it means the distinguish between matter and spirit. So your knowledge or your understanding or is when you start to see everything as one undivided spiritual nature. That you see that everything is made out of souls. Rajas is there's a black person, there's a white person, a different type of body, different type of living entities. Okay, like that, you see, there's quite a lot of information here. Person can be deduced to be in Sattva because he has self-control. Okay. Now, and there's a whole list of qualities in the Bhagavatam. Sense of mind control, tolerance, discriminance, truthfulness. Okay, and we'll take a quick look at Rajas. Busy, busy. I'm going to build my empire. So the daytime, not easy for meditation in the middle of the day. Rajas, home, right in the city. Foods that are dear to those in Rajas. There are, what are effects that cause misery, disease, and distress. And those foods are too bitter, too salty, too sour, too hot, too pungent, too dry, too burning. It develops greed within the individual. Nice picture there. It entangled by karma, material karma, manifested as great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and controllable desire and hankering. Take birth among human beings. Result, misery. What comes out of Rajas life? Misery. It's desire characterized by unlimited desires and longings. Situated leaves of earthly planets. Happiness in its Rajas, like nectar in the beginning. Some happiness and pleasure in the beginning, but the end, miserable. And it's all about contact of the senses with their objects. It's all about the physical enjoyment. Those who are in Rajas, they worship the Daityas, Hiranyakashipu, like the great demons. passion worship demigod, goodness worship demigods. But when your faith is in rajas, then you worship the demons. Why do you do sacrifice? For the sake of profit and for the sake of pride. You're looking for respect, honor, worship with pride. And what are your results of the austerity? Unstable, non-permanent. Okay. Don't want to not do any. If something doesn't feel good, I'm not doing it. Fear of bodily discomfort. Oh, I'm not going to do something. Well, we're in Rajas means, okay, there's a big glare, is it? Okay. It's only if it's comfortable for me. I'm not going to do anything that's, uncomfortable. Let's see. Actor. Greedy, envious, impure, moved by joy and sorrow. Okay, we get an idea there. Can't really distinguish what is good and bad, what is religion and irreligion, what should be done, what should not be done. Can't really discriminate that. Okay, and then Tamas, the late evening. Where's your home? You're a home that's in the red light district. Tamas, bars and brothels. Look at that. Nice foods. When I've told you the story of, I think before, Prabhupada telling a story about Nafi. You know about Nafi? So Prabhupada's godbrothers went to a town in Burma, and they were cooking puris cooked in ghee, some bread and butter. And then the villagers came out and said, "Oh my God, this smells horrible. What are you guys doing?" And the monks were just very confused. They were scratching their head. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's bread and butter. I don't know what's the problem. And they found out in that town, there's a delicacy called nafi, where they basically get a roadkill, put it in a jar, let it sit in the sun for a few months. And then at your birthday, you get a little turkey baster, suck up all that black juice and spray it all over your food. And so that's nafi. So when you are when you are well situated in tamas, and you are attracted to foods in tamas, you can't really appreciate the foods in sattva. Like Raghunath says, you go to a heroin junkie, he said, "Hey, let's go to like the beach and eat some like organic smoothie," and not interested, not at all interested. So food that's kind of old, food that is putrid, dead, food of someone else's leftovers. What does it lead to? Tamas, you have Rajas is the Brahma, the creator. That's his job. Sattva is to maintain, to stabilize. And tamas, Shiva's job is to destroy. So the nature of tamas is destruction. So what does it lead to? Foolishness, madness, illusion, indolence, oversleeping, inertia, taking birth in the animal kingdom. Happiness that is, your only happiness is in laziness. Instead of worshiping Bhagavan or the demigods or the demons, they worship the ghosts and spirits, very dark entities. The demons are more passion, build my empire, but more even dark and destructive entities. Tamas means we do things without scriptural direction. This is a yajna in tamas. In austerity, we might do self-torture. Like what is that? Bhashmasura. What is this? Vitrasura, not Vitrasura. Vrikasura in Krishna book. He tried to offer his head in sacrifice. to gain powers. Do you remember that story? He was worshiping Lord Shiva to gain powers. He was cutting off big pieces of his flesh and throwing it into the fire. And Shiva didn't immediately appear before him. So his last endeavor was to cut off his head, and with the last piece of energy, like kind of drop his head into the fire. And what did he do that for? He just wanted to destroy and injure others. He wanted the power by which whomever's head he would touch, that person's head would explode. And so he chased Lord Shiva around. Once he was told he was granted the power, Lord Shiva appeared and said, hey, you don't need to do all this crazy stuff. I'm Ashutosh, I'm easily pleased. What would you like? And he looked at Shiva's beautiful wife and he said, oh, I want that. He said he wanted the power. And then once he was told he had that power, he decided to chase Lord Shiva with the objective of killing Lord Shiva and stealing his wife, kidnapping his wife. And Vishnu appeared, just to finish the story. Vishnu appeared and told him, hey, well, what are you trying to do? He said, well, I'm trying to, kill Lord Shiva and take his wife because I got this power from him. And Vishnu told him in the form of this Brahmana. He said, oh, Shiva doesn't have any powers. He said, go ahead, try it. Touch your head. Nothing's going to happen. And he touched his head. His head exploded. It's just tricky like that. Here, I'll put the link here for the 3 modes of nature. Charity. You give some money to a junkie. It might be charity in the Tamaguna. Charity mode of passion. You give money to something because you want your name all over the place. You want your name on the wall. It should actually help the person. It should actually help the world. And their actions should help the world too. Okay. Knowledge. So you see here, we got everyone's getting a good taste for the 3 modes. So it's like I put these colors kind of like RGB as well, like red, yellow, and red, yellow, and in TV screen it's green. It's green. But with these 3 colors, 3 primary colors, you mix them, you make 9. You mix that, you get 81, and then you get so much variety. So, let's look at one of them here. I like this. I put this together down here. Ayurveda. Does anybody know what their Ayurvedic constitution is? Edward, anybody? Dana, do you know what's your Ayurvedic constitution?
Vata Pitta.
Vata Pitta, okay.
Now this is, I haven't had it officially done, but going through the workshops with Madhu, that's kind of where I.
Okay. Yeah, I have a little questionnaire that someone could fill out, and it can. So you're not going to change you can increase, but you're not going to change your actual your body's nature, where it stabilizes at. Your Vata Pitta from birth, it's decided. But you can change your gunas, and there is no value difference between Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. No one says like, oh, Kapha is better than Vata or Pitta is better than Kapha. There's no value there. But 3 modes of nature, definitely there's a value. Definitely better to be in Sattva than to be in Rajas. Better to be in Rajas than to be in Tamas. So, okay, so someone said Vata, Pitta. Okay, so let's hear that. This is a Vata this is a Vata and Tamas. These are the where the bad direction of vata can lead to. Fearful, servile, dishonest, secretive, depressed, self-destructive, drug addict, prone to sexual perversions, mentally disturbed, suicidal. That is pitta in tamas. Hateful, vile, vindictive, destructive, psychopath, criminal, drug dealer, underworld figure. And might as well read kapha. Kapha in tamas. Gross, dull, lethargic, apathetic, slothful, coarse, slow, comprehension, insensitive, a thief. So that's when those particular natures are situated in tamas. That's how it manifests. Then here, vata and rajas. Indecisive, unreliable, hyperactive, agitated, restless, disturbed, nervous, anxious, overly talkative, superficial, noisy, disruptive, false enthusiasm. Pitta and rajas. Willful, impulsive, ambitious, aggressive, controlling, critical, dominating, manipulating, angry, wrathful, reckless, proud, and vain. And kapha in rajas. Controlling, attached, greedy, materialistic, sentimental, needing security, seeking comfort and luxury. But here, this is vata and sattva. Energetic, adaptable, flexible, quick in comprehension, good in communication, a strong sense of positive spirit, able to initiate things, good capacity for positive change and movement. Intelligence, pitta and sattva, intelligent, clear, perspective, enlightened, discriminating, goodwill, independent, warm, friendly, courageous, good guide, and leader. And kapha in sattva, calm, peaceful, content, stable, consistent, loyal, loving, compassionate, forgiving, patient, devoted, receptive, nurturing, supportive, strong faith. So you can't change the vata, but you can change where we are here. We are not, this is just where the mind is built to go if we let it go in tamas, or we let it go in rajas, or let it go in sattva. But we don't have to stay in tamas or rajas. We can work on always situating ourselves in sattva or shuddha sattva. Any comments or questions? I'll close this curtain. Oh, better? Any questions? Reflections? And this is something that, our homework is now to go out in the world and observe these three modes. And they're relative. For example, if you were to examine, it's like, let's take it from the top. You got the great sages, the demigods, and humans. Because there are great sages like great rishis, celestial rishis on higher planets that live on planets higher than the demigods, and they're considered sattva, well situated in sattva. And in relation to them, the demigods are in rajas. They're all about, some higher enjoyments and busy maintaining, creating the aspects of the universe. So demigod sages would be sattva, demigods rajas, humans would be tamas. But then let's take it a step down. Demigods would be in sattva, humans in rajas, and animals in tamas. Well, take it a step down. humans in Sattva, animals in Rajas, and you have like plants in Tamas. Not very, it's a very dull, it's like almost like a sleepy state of existence. Like if you read Ayurveda, and it says avocado is more tamas than orange. But does that mean avocado is food in the mode of ignorance? Absolutely not. It's just in that little category of different kinds of fruits. It's got more tamas in it. And not even a significant portion. It's just, you know. So these are all relative. Everyone got that? Demigods, Sattva, humans, Rajas, Tamas. Right here you got Sattva food, sweet, juicy, pure, healthy, good, organic, fresh vegetables, milk. And Rajas, it's like hot, chili, sour, salty. And then this mode of ignorance, you got all these dead things. Old English fish or something. This guy's unconscious. All right. So let's go back to our verse. Can maybe just pull up a tab. Oh, no. So chief thing is there is the deluded is the mohitam. So deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Tribir ganamir bhaver ebhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabi janati mam ebhya param avyayam. So he is, the Lord is ebhya, above. He is supreme and inexhaustible. This word will come up again and again. So I'll just look at the purport real quick. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that the transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living being is under the influence of material nature, has a particular type of body and a particular psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in these three modes of material nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called kshatriyas. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance are called vaishyas, and those who are completely in ignorance are called shudras. I was just listening to Prabhupada lecturing on Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 25, text 2 this morning, and Prabhupada was saying, or maybe it was text 5 yesterday, I was listening to text 5. He was saying if the Shudra hears and understands the Bhagavad philosophy, then he's Brahmana. Because a Brahmana is someone who understands Brahman, who understands God. It's not necessarily just the nature of the work, but generally those who are attracted to kind of intellectual work are Brahmanas. It's very hard for them just to like shovel dirt because their mind just wants to go and think about things all the time. It's like they have to like put on their headphones and listen to wisdom of the sages. Otherwise, it's torture. Because they're just like, my brain is starving here. And then there are those are completely ignorant are called Shudras. Those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although this life is temporary, we do not know what we're going to be in our next life. By the spell of illusion, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with these modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that all living entities are deluded. Are you seeing the same page that I'm seeing? Okay. I wasn't sure if I had it showing only one particular tab. Yeah. So Lord Krishna says that all these living entities are deluded by the three modes of nature, do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of the material nature. All of them have forgotten the transcendental personality of Godhead. Those who are in, excuse me, those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the absolute truth. They're bewildered before the Supreme Lord in his personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness can't understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. So three guna mayi, consisting of three modes, bhavai. Remember we mentioned this word bhava means like to be, being. Abhi, some of these words are going to be, they're not going to be, some of these words we can remember, like we can remember three, that's not hard. Guna we should remember. Bhava we should try to remember, to be. AB, I don't know, we're probably not going to remember that. Sarvam we should remember, that's a word that we're going to see a lot. Idam, this one, yes, this we should maybe start remembering that when we see that more and more often. Mohita we should remember. Na abhijanati. Abhijanati. Janati. Remember we had this word somewhere. But remember where we had this to know. Na abhijanati. Does not know. Mam. Okay, we should know that. Ebhya. Above. Param. Param we should know. And aviyam we should start to remember some of these words. It makes a little flashcards and test ourselves. Okay, so who wants to give it a reading? One line at a time.
I'll go.
All right.
Tribir guna mayer bhaver avi sarvam idam jagata mohitam nabhijanati mam ebhya param avyayam.
Good. Carlos G.
Okay, I'll try. I'm having some issue on the third line, second word. Navijanati. Okay, sorry. Tribir guna mair bhavair
Tribir gunair bhavir
ebhi sarvam idam jagat
ebhi sarvam idam jagat
mohitam nabijanati
mohitam nabijanati
mamebhya param avyayam.
mam ebhya param avyayam. Nice. Dana K, you want to do one word at a time?
Oh no, my turn. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so 3B.
Tribi.
Guna.
Guna.
Let's look at we could actually just look at the word for it. Maye,
Aye.
bhave,
Pave.
abhi,
Avi.
sarvam,
Sarvam. Got that one.
idam,
Idam.
jagat.
Jagats.
So Jagannath is not means Lord of the universe, Lord name of Krishna, Jagannath, Jagat.
I remember
Mohitam,
that from one of the other ones.
yep. Mohitam,
Mohitam. Mohitam. Mm,
Nabijanati,
This one's tough. Na.
Mam,
Nahab.
Na, Abhi,
Mum. Na. Abi.
Abhi,
Jan.
Na,
Abi.
Abhi,
Abi.
Janati.
Janati. Abi.
Okay, and then we'll go
Jan.
back over here. Ebhya,
Abia.
Param,
Param.
Avyayam,
Avyayam.
Avya, Avyayam,
Avya. Yam.
Avyayam,
Avyayam.
Avyayam, Avyayam,
Avyayam.
Avyayam.
Working on it.
Chibir, Gunamayer, Bhavir,
Shabir Gunam Mayir Bavir
Ebi Sarvam Idham Jagat,
E Abir Sarvam Idam Jagat
Mohitam Nabhi Janati,
Mo Na Nahajanati. Sorry, butchered that one.
and this is a Nabhi. It's a bhi. It's a Bhagavan. It's an aspirated H. So it's not like a really another. It's not bhi.
Nabi.
Yeah. Mohitam Nabhi Janati.
Mohatam Nabi Janati.
Mam Ebhya Param Avyayam.
Ma Abya Param Avyayam.
This is not an easy one.
No.
There's
This
H
one's tough.
dots and stuff all over. Carlos G, you ready? Go again. Do one line at a time. And everybody will chant after you.
Tribhir gunamayi bhavir
Jibir Gunamayir Bhavir
ebi sarvam idam jagat
Ebi Sarvam Idam Jagat
mohitam nabhi janati
Mohitam Nabhi Janati
mamebhya param avyayam.
Mam Ebhya Param Avyayam. One more time.
Sure. Tribhir gunamayi bhavir
Tribir Gunamayir Bhavir
ebi sarvam idam jagat
Ebi Sarvam Idam Jagat
mohitam nabhi janati
Mohitam Nabhi Janati
mamebhya param avyayam.
Mam Ebhya Param Avyayam. I think you're doing a kind of a long A here, and it's tripping up your rhythm.
Which one, Prabhu?
The last line, the param. Mam
Maybe.
evya param avyayam.
Mamebhya param avyayam.
Yeah. There you go. Edward G, you would like to recite?
Tribir guna mayer bhaver.
Jibir gunamayer bhaver.
Ebhi sarvam idam jagat.
Bibi sarva idam jagat.
Mohitam nabhijanati.
Mohitam nabi chanati.
Mam ebhya param avyayam.
Mam evya param avyayam. Here I got some other commentary. Baladev Vidyabhushan. He mentions the word param means that Krishna is untouched by these by all the states of the jivas and the gunas. He is abhya, beyond that, above it. All the jivas in this universe taking up forms of deva, asura, human, and so forth, sarvamidam jagat, have lost their power of discrimination, mohitam, by accepting bodies, senses, and sense objects in accordance to their karmas. These items are made of sattva, rajas, and tamas, the effects of my material gunas previously explained, and are subject to birth and transformation at every moment. In this condition, they are envious of me, Krishna, the Lord of all beings, full of condensed knowledge and bliss, an ocean of infinite auspicious qualities. I never deviate from this nature, avyayam. I am untouched, param, by all these states of the jivas and the gunas, ebhya. Take a little peek. This is kind of a little summary here. Daivi, this is one of the most famous verses in this chapter. Daivesha gunamayi mama maya dharatyaya mameveye prapadyante mayetam maya etam tarantite. So this divine energy of mine, Daivi gunamayi, consisting of three modes of material nature, it's his energy, it's his divine energy. Mama maya, my energy, my maya, my energy. Durataya, very difficult to overcome. But then what does he say? It's very easily. But those who surrender unto me can easily cross beyond it. Mam eva ye prapadyante. What does prapadyante mean? It means to surrender. Maya etam tarantite. They easily cross beyond it. So the whole thing is difficult, but if you surrender, the whole thing is easy. And so this whole illusion, it's impossible to overcome. Durga, you got your two arms and you're going to fight Durga. She's got, hundreds of arms. You're going to lose. She's the superintendent of this prison. Dur means difficult, gachati, to go. Very difficult to progress and go and have freedom in this world. So she is the superintendent. She doesn't let you go beyond the bounds of this material realm, or the bounds of material understanding. But if you surrender, then very easy. Well, who are those who don't surrender? That's described here. Different kinds of states of consciousness that lead someone not to surrender. Then who are those who do? Different types of people who are pious, that they're going to be similar to the other four, but they have this piety that they choose to surrender. They may be in distress. They may be seeking wealth. They may be curious, or they may be seeking God Himself. It says those who are in the Shudra, generally distress. Those who are Vaishya, business, seeking wealth. Those who are Kshatriya, are leaders, very curious, want to know who's in charge. And those who are Brahmana, seeking God. But they're all dear to me. But the one who is really seeking God, Aham Samama Priyaha, he is most dear to me. I'm very dear to him, and he's dear to me. This is where he says they're all magnanimous, though. But one who is situated in that knowledge, he's like my own self. And yeah. And after many lives of seeking God, the wise person, what does he do? Jnanavan. Bhagavan means one who possesses all bhagas, opulences. So Jnanavan means one who possesses all knowledge. So after many, many lives of doing that, what do? Then they surrender. Understanding that Vasudeva is Sarvam, he's everything. Sa Mahatma, such a great Mahatma, great soul. Sudurlabha is very rare in this world. Then the HEAD, now he's going to start talking about demigod worship. And we'll get into that later. So that's when he starts talking about how a person who is ruled by kama, by desires, who do they surrender to? They prapadyante to who? The devatas. And what do they do that for? And Krishna says, I provide them their shraddha. I give them the faith in that. According to his particular desires, I'm providing a particular type of faith. And they may even they'll get what they want from the demigods, attain what he desires. But actually, these things are bestowed by me alone. And what are they looking for? Perishable fruits. And because of that, they're considered kind of tiny-brained, alpa, very medasam, very little brain substance. Those who worship the demigods, yanti, they go to the demigods, but my devotees come back to me. And, supreme planet, place that you live forever. But even more unintelligent, Abudaya is someone who says that God is just, he was a person, he was nothing, and then he became a person. I was impersonal before, now assume this impersonality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature. Param bhavama jananta, janati. Remember this word here? Jananta. They do not know that I am imperishable and anuttamam, the imperishable and supreme. Why is this? Why doesn't anybody know? Because we're covered by this illusory and potency. Naham Prakash is a very famous verse. I'm never manifested the foolish and unintelligent. So Krishna reserves the right to not display himself to everyone. If they're not interested, then he covers. The curtain of Maya is covering their understanding. Nabi janati. Here's this word again. Nabi janati. The Buddha, the fool, cannot know me. Which is abhayam. Again, I am unborn and inexhaustible. Infallible, it says here. So if it's a curtain, then, if I put a curtain in front of you, you can't see me, but I can't see you. So the next verse, Krishna says, it's a tinted window. So I know everything that has happened in the past, all that's happening in the present, on all things that are yet to come. I know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So this curtain covering the living entities, it's not covering my understanding. And so what is our delusion? We're controlled by desire and aversion. I want this, I don't like this. I hate this, I like this. I hate this, I like this, I hate this, I like this. So that's our illusion. But people who have acted piously in their past lives and given up papa, sinful activities, establish punya karmanam, good karma, good pious things. They dvana moha nirmukta, being free, they become free from duality. And bhajante mam dudavrata, they worship me with great determination. So, that can be leading to somebody. If they live very piously and they give up sins, they can be taking steps towards Krishna. And those also who want to get free from old age, death, they want to get free from those things, mokshaya, free of those things. They ashrita yatantiye, they ashram, they take shelter of me. They know all about spiritual, transcendental activities. And this is the last verse. This is like a hard one. Saribhutali devamam, sariyagya chayevidu, prayana kalepi imam chamam, devidur yukta chetasa. Those in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the governing principle of material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. And this leads into chapter 8, because in chapter 8, Arjuna asks, what is this Adi Bhuta? What is this Adi Deva? What is this Adi Yagya? And also he says, can you also explain the word karma? What is that really? What is the clear definition of that word? Where are we at 15? I just going over that, it was nice to see this kind of progression of, who surrenders? Who surrenders? Who surrenders? Who doesn't surrender? Why don't they surrender? And then these people surrender to the demigods. It's nice to kind of follow it and see these words used again and again, and see kind of the reasoning behind it. Jibir gunamayer bhavir evi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabi janati mam ebya param avyayam. So somebody else give it a chant again.
Tribir gunamayir bhavir epi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabi janati mamebya param avyayam.
Okay. And can anybody say the first line with their eyes closed?
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Tribir guna mayer bhaver.
And one thing about this Maya, usually we hear that word Maya, illusion, but Maya also means energy. So that's because you're going to see that it might be even Mama Maya. Mama Maya, my energy. Here, see, we go.
My Sakta.
Maya Sakta. Maya is unto me, unto me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But Maya here is my Mama Maya, my energy. Also illusion, but my energy. It's often translated as energy. Durataya. It is very difficult to overcome. Duratya. Dura means hard. Far or hard. Duratyaya. Dura darshanam means television. Duravani, because it means far. Means telephone. Vani is instruction. Tribir, Gunamayir, Pavir. Who else? Carlos, can you do it with your eyes closed?
Now that Edward Prabhu said it, I think I can. Okay, so it's Tribir Guna Mayir Bhavid.
Try line 2.
I don't know, to be honest.
Evi sarvam idam jagat.
Evi sarvam idam jagat.
Evi sarvam idam jagat.
Evi sarvam idam jagat.
So everyone can close their eyes and just repeat. Evi sarvam idam jagat. Evi sarvam idam jagat. Evi sarvam idam jagat. Mohitam nabhi janati. Carlos, do you know what janati means?
Not knowing.
Knowing, yeah. Do you know? So nabi janati is not knowing, yeah, not knowing. And another, we'll have that root there. I think we said it was like 3 times we saw it at least in the chapters. And then even, I think maybe the previous verses, that word comes up again, the janati. Should we could take a look, real quick look? Let's see, let's go to, we go to chapter 7, advanced view. Take off the purports, Devanagari. I'll just scroll down. And maybe take off the synonyms. Let's just scroll down like that. Any janati. We got veti, that's a different one. I think it's, no, I don't see any janati. Only that one, and then mohitam nabhi janati. Mohitam nabhi janati. Danny K, let's hear you. Mohitam nabhi janati. I think your connection's a little.
Oh, you're ending.
Mohitam Nabhi
Mohitam.
Yeah.
Mohitam nabi janati.
Nabhi Janati.
Nabi janati.
Mohitam
Mohitam.
Nabhi Janati.
Mohitam nabi janati. Janati.
Okay, and then everybody. Mam ebhya param avyayam. Mam ebhya param avyayam. Mam ebhya param avyayam. Mam ebhya param avyayam.
Mam ebyam param avyayam.
Mam ebhya param avyayam. Mam.
Mam abye paramam.
Try to do it with a clap, so you keep that. Mam ebhya param avyayam.
Mam ebya paramam avyayam.
So you get the end of the mam ebhya param avyayam.
Mam ebya paramam avyayam.
Param avyayam.
Para avyayam. Avyayam.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the long A at the avya, but it's mam
Mam
ebhya param avyayam. Doesn't have to be a long A in the middle of the avyayam, but just that rhythm.
ebya paramam avyayam.
Param avyayam.
Param avyayam. I'm trying, Prabhu.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, thank you. So it looks like everybody's doing good, making good progress. Thank you all so much for participating. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. So we'll stop here. Any last comments or reflections? So next week we'll do that Daiviyesha Gunamai, and you're going to hear that. That's a cool one because you're going to hear it. If you're going to hear it in Wisdom of the Sages, or you're going to hear it in lectures because it's a common verse that's recited. You probably have heard. What was it? What is the Manushanam Sahasrishis? That probably comes up sometimes too in readings and lectures and things like that. But this next one, I think, is even more common. All right. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.